Day 6 of 8 in the Amgen Tour of California had found Folsom and the individual time trial, the famous Folsom Prison there. And of course, Johnny Cash has made the town famous. A special guitar measuring some 34 feet on show at the start. Out on course very early on, little problem with his bike, Bradley Wiggins, but he was only out for a cruise and his time was not important. This man's time had to be special.
Yes, Julien Alaphilippe in the yellow jersey knew he was up against some great specialists, including Rowan Dennis, the Australian national champion and winner of the fastest ever time trial in the Tour de France 12 months ago.
Starting down the field, the world time trial champion, Vasily Kirienka, and by the time he came home to the finish, he'd set the mark for everybody to beat. 25 minutes straight.
Yes, his time would stand for quite a long time, but starting also was a man who'd finished at third place 2 years ago, Taylor Phinney, and he was out on course, and when he got to the turning point, he had the fastest time.
Just slightly up on Vasily Kirienka by the time he came through to the finishing line. He knew he had to beat 25 minutes. He could see the clock up the straight, and by the time he got to the line, 24:36, a new leader.
Yes, but there were lots of specialists on the day looking to set the race on fire. Soren Andersen, by the time he got to the turning point, had the new best time, but when he got to the finish, it was a different story.
Like so many of the riders, they were getting good times on the way out, but they were losing it on the way back. It was the headwind and the strength of the riders on the return. Peter Sagan in his green jersey as leader of this race on points was always out for a good ride, and by the time he came through to the finish, he was setting the 7th best time of the day. He would slip away a little bit. The champion of Belgium.
Big surprise for a lot of people, expecting the champion of Belgium in the individual time trial to maybe take a back seat. He had the fastest time when he went through the turning point, but he faded like many on the run in towards the finish.
He would lose a minute 48 on the day's winner. Lawson Craddock knew he had to deliver on this day because he hadn't had a great tour so far, and he was the leader of the Cannondale team. By the time he got to the finish, his time was good and he would improve overall. Andrew Talansky, huge cheers for the champion of America. As he got out on course, the Stars and Stripes have brought something special from this rider. Equal fastest at the turn, by the time he came to the finish,
was 24 minutes and 33 seconds, just shaving 3 seconds off the time of Taylor Phinney. He was now the new leader on the board.
Taylor Phinney, a little surprised to see anybody getting up, a former time trial champion himself of the United States, but Talansky had delivered and was accelerating up the overall classification. Everybody was talking of Rowan Dennis, the fastest time trialist ever to ride a time trial in the Tour de France. This was the man they all knew they had to beat. He was aiming for a yellow jersey and he gave it his best shot. Fastest at the far end, came back best. 24 minutes, 16 seconds. No one would match that time, and Talansky couldn't believe it.
Yes, but Talansky's ride moved him well up in the overall standings, tickling the podium. But when you think about the local rider, Neilson Paulus lives 10 miles away from this point. He did a great ride out on the course and improved his position in the overall standings.
Problems yesterday, he slipped a place to 6th, and now he would come back up into 5th place overall. Last man to go of the 140 survivors, Julien Alaphilippe, not a noticed time trialist, but when you're wearing yellow, you do something special. He knew what he had to do with the time of Rowan Dennis. He was inside by 16 seconds. He'd lost a lot of his lead, but he hadn't lost the race.
Well, he held on to 16 seconds in the overall standings with a very brave and strong, courageous ride to keep yellow. Well done, France.
The big heart of the race leader, Rowan Dennis, though, the winner for Team BMC, who had 2 men on the podium, split by Andrew Talansky. But the yellow jersey would stay on the shoulders for the weekend coming up. 2 tough stages at Santa Rosa and Sacramento. The time trial results, Rowan Dennis getting the win, only his 2nd win of the year. 17 seconds his victory margin there. Good ride by Lawson Craddock and Neilson Paulus. Get them in the top 10 and they would climb up in the overall classifications. But they couldn't quite reach this man as Amgen's Rolf Hoffmann presented the prize to Julien Alaphilippe. For 4 days now he's led this race. The 2 days to come, absolutely crucial, but he'll go to them with smiles. Let's have a look at the overall standings. Here they are. Alaphilippe now leads for 16 seconds. That's all over Rowan Dennis. He was a minute 1 ahead of Dennis at the start. Brent Bookwalter in third place. George Bennett slipped from third to ninth. The race goes into its final weekend.